All right. Good morning. Good morning. Gia. Um, still over here, still out here in Brazil. And I want to do a quick video on the Carmelo Anthony. Well, really a Knicks video. It's gonna be a two-parter. But I want to start off with the Carmelo Anthony, Phil Jackson little. Nothing big. Melo had to speak his piece on his on podcasts, and again, you know how it goes, right? Shout out to the great Phil Jackson. You had a great coaching career. As a Knicks fan, knowing what you did while you was GM or team president, you pretty much stole money, wasted our time. You drafted Porzingis. We got, indirectly, the only thing I could say that we got still out of that deal is probably some of the cap space to get Julius Randle, was turned into, basically Carl Anthony Towns. So shout out to Leon Rose for fixing your mess. And Pacome Dadier, which we got with the second of those first round picks. I think the other first round pick we got from Dallas, I forget who we, we kicked the can. All right, so, Deuce McBrado, Giannovi, stuff like that. I could do a video soon enough, chronicling the bad moves that GMs made, that Leon Rose and the subsequent GMs have turned into things. But in your book, again, Phil Jackson, the greatest self promoter in NBA history. Again, he had a great college coaching career, and he coached 11 championships, 9 championships as a coach, 2 as a player with the Knicks. Knicks had a special place in his heart, so he felt the need to come and kind of fix things the way they were going. Knicks were kind of on the right track, but not falling off the rails. And some of the moves he made and trying to implement the triangle and everything like that, Carmelo, he spoke his piece on it, right? And the thing about Phil Jackson, the theme that I have about Phil Jackson is he's one of those guys who everything is over. He never takes blame in anything, right? And he's done this. I mean, he's done this to some of the GOATs. He's done this to Mike Pippen. He's done, he will bring up his view, but if things went wrong and things went right. But if things go wrong, it's never anything to do with him, or he never says, "Well, I learned something from here. I could have done better here." I mean, a couple of times I've seen him kind of take accountability for some of the things that went wrong and look, he's had a largely successful career. Again, he's been a part of 11 NBA championships. He had I don't know how much 6, 7, 8 year playing career, two as a coach, as a player, and 22 years coaching. He's won 9 championships, 18, 19, whatever it was. So he's been largely successful. But, as a GM with the Knicks, it was bad. And the one thing you could point that he did well was drafting Kristaps Porzingis. Again, that move, had to indirectly lead to some of the success that the Knicks now currently occupy, 7 years after his firing. Again, the last thing he did was draft Frank Ntilikina over Donovan Mitchell, who had a strong workout. And as we see, Donovan Mitchell is one of the best players in the NBA. A borderline superstar. Led a team to 64 wins last year. Was an MVP candidate, right? Top 5 MVP voter, I believe he was. So, Melo spoke his piece, said what really happened. Again, everybody act like Melo was the guy throwing shade in the. Melo was the guy trying to cheat. Again, Melo said, if you feel this strongly about this offense in our team, come down here and coach. And as Melo said, no disrespect to his teammates, but the team wasn't working. Derrick Rose was not a guy that was in the for triangle. Again, one of the things that are understated and never really brought up is that Phil Jackson passed on Nikola Jokic. Now, again, he had 2 second-round picks. He also traded into the first round in the 2014 draft. He drafted Shane Larkin. Okay, no disrespect to Barry's son, who had a great career in Miami and had a decent little career in NBA. You know, but Nikola Jokic was sitting there, and he had multiple opportunities to get that man a uniform. Now, yeah, Nikola Jokic was a guy that they didn't know was coming over. They were unsure about his. They were unsure about his conditioning, right? Rightfully so. But he was hella talented. Phil Jackson had nothing to lose on that second round pick. If you're the GM that we know and you want, mind you, talk about a guy that loves the triangle offense. Nikola Jokic is the prototype to run a triangle system. Okay? The prototype center to run a triangle system. And you didn't even have a guy on your radar. There was no talks of Phil Jackson looking at Nikola Jokic. You drafted the Willie Hernangomez. So we know you were in Europe. Some of your scouts were in Europe. He probably didn't make the flight out to Europe to look at anybody personally, but his scouts were. So at what point, running the system or running, like giving Joakim Noah that money, his moves just didn't work. And I know the book was not about the Knicks. It just brought up Melo's name in it. You didn't You took no accountability for your poor job. You could have put that in a 75 chapter book. I heard. Okay, whatever it is, no accountability. Okay, so look, the Knicks are going. We're in a good place, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to pivot over. Because again, I just want to give Melo his props because that's what I do a lot. Because I think Melo is one of these guys that is just criminally underrated, criminally over criticized. And shout out to Cayenne Anthony. His first two games, guy shooting 67% from the field, averaging 17.5 points as a freshman at Syracuse. So shout out to Cayenne. All right, let's pivot into the Knicks. Again, as you know me, when we were 2-3, I didn't panic. We won the last three, looked really impressive. Had 3 days off. I hope the team don't come out rusty. I hope the team come out looking like a team that did a practice, come out hungry. Smoke the Nets tonight. The Nets are the opponent you want to really just, have a laugh or wire to wire. Knicks should do that. If they don't, all right, probably a little bit rust. Nets might be playing over their heads, but I think the Knicks will be fine on that. I believe we have 3 more games on the homestand after that. I know Miami, the two Florida teams, Miami and Orlando, come in, and if we want to go back there. So the Knicks will have 3 games with Miami. I hope we finish 2-1 against those guys. Got to. I mean, Bam Adebayo didn't play last night, and they had a win over. They beat Portland last night. Portland on a road trip. So Denia Vija looking pretty good. Now he had another triple double. Or damn near had a triple double 2 night games in a row. But the Knicks are looking good. Should have a very successful November. I'm saying we could sweep November. I'm hoping we do. There could be a loss or 2 in there. But if we lose more than 3 games, then I'd be surprised. But either way, the Knicks will be great, doing well on the standings, and trying to get a lead in this Eastern Conference. Really? I mean, really, like Mitchell. What can I say about Mitchell Robinson, guys? What can I say? When you look again right now, and shout out to Knicks Fan TV, because I've been saying it at this point, right? I want Mitch to actually be there in the Defensive Player of the Year candidacy, but it looks like that's not going to happen. It looks like the Knicks don't prioritize that. It's not about individual things. They don't care if he plays 65 games or not. I would love it for Mitch. It actually is pretty much a strategy because it's going to drive the price up, right? And, Mitch, I hope Mitch wants to be here in New York, but Mitch is that important, bro. I mean, you get 9 offensive rebounds in 16 minutes. Just the defensive impact he has. The 16 minutes he's out there. You see it. And if you don't see it, you're a casual. So I'm going to continue to say that. OG's looking great, looking like an All-NBA defender, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. The captain, Don't worry about getting to over 25. If you get 25 a game, I want to see you get 8, 9 assists. I want to see you get almost 10 assists. That's what the Knicks need. We need those nights where you go 17 and 11. Because you know what that means? Everybody else is eating. We don't need, there's enough talent around you where we can have a balanced attack. Carl Towns need more 30, 40-point games. Knicks are looking good. Yeah, good times coming, man. Good times coming. We'll see what happens when the schedule gets tougher and, how we fare up against the other contenders. But right now, there's no contenders on the, Minnesota was close to a contender as we probably going to see over this month. So, just keep trucking, man. Peace.